everyone. In the previous class, we studied about cell, the fundamental unit of life, and today we'll be studying about the tissue chapter. Okay, so have you ever wondered how is tissue and what is tissue made up of? Okay, so basically, tissue it is made up of a group of specialized cells, and these group of tissue they form an organ, and group of organ they form an entire organism system. So in this organ system, it forms a complete organism. Okay, so first, can we imagine a small seed? Okay, this seed until it grows into a mature tree. Okay, until it grows into a tree, this phase it is called as growth phase or meristematic tissue. Okay, the growth responsible for this tree it is called as that type of tissue. It is called as meristematic tissue. Okay, from the seed till that tree that it cannot further grow, it is called as growth phase, and it is which the tissue which is responsible for it, it is called as meristematic tissue. That tissue it is no longer responsible for the growth. Those kind of tissue it is called as permanent tissue. Now, first, tissue it is classified into two types: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Right? Now we will look into meristematic tissue. So first, what it is? So meristematic tissue it is further divided into three things: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. Now we will look these three into a plant. Okay, this is our plant. So apical meristem it is responsible for the growth of the stem and the roots. Okay, so it is mainly found in the top of the stem. This part it is the apical meristem which is responsible for the growth, and it is also present in the roots. Okay, it also helps the root to grow. Okay, so it is seen in two places: the stem and the root. Now moving on to intercalary meristem, the role of intercalary meristem, it is present in between the stem, and it elongates the stem, and it helps the nodes to grow more. Now, moving on to lateral meristem, it is also present in the stem. It increases the girth and the widthness of the shoot. It also increases the thickness. So that responsible is for the lateral meristem. Now, uh, we will look into the permanent tissue because meristematic tissue is done. We will look into permanent tissue. Permanent tissue is further classified into two, which is simple permanent and complex permanent. Right. So this simple permanent, it is again classified into three: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma it is again further divided into two, which is erenchyma and chlorenchyma. Now, we will look all these three things and look at their location where it is present, its main function, its cell wall, and the intercellular spaces between them. Okay, and examples of where they are found. Now, moving on to parenchyma. The main role of parenchyma is to store food, right? The main role of parenchyma is to store food. Now, parenchyma it is again divided into two, as I told, erenchyma and chlorenchyma. Erenchyma it is a type of parenchyma which has large air cavities in between them, and it helps the plant float on the surface of the water. It gives them buoyancy. For example, the lotus plant. Okay, as it helps in the as it helps to float, and that is responsible. Who is responsible? The erenchyma is responsible. Now moving on to chlorenchyma. What is chlorenchyma? Chlorenchyma it is a type of parenchyma who contains chlorophyll and helps to perform photosynthesis. Right. So chlorenchyma it is a type of parenchyma which helps to perform photosynthesis, and it contains chlorophyll, and mostly it is found in leaves. Now moving on to collenchyma. Collenchyma mainly helps in flexibility and support, right? So collenchyma it is mainly found in the leaf of the stalk or the leaf of the stem. Okay, and the main function of collenchyma is to provide flexibility and support to the entire tree. Now the nature of the cell. So collenchyma it is a living cell. Okay, it is made up of living cell. Now collenchyma ka cell wall it is thickened, it is unevenly thickened at the corners, and it is made up of pectin and hemicellulose, which it is unevenly thickened at the corners, and it is thickened with pectin and hemicellulose. Right. Now sclerenchyma it has very little air space. It has very little intercellular cells. Now, moving on to sclerenchyma. The main role of sclerenchyma is to provide hardness and stiffness to the tree, right? So, sclerenchyma, it is mainly found, or the examples of sclerenchyma where it is found is the husk of the coconut, the hard covering of the nuts and seeds, and it is also found in the veins of the stem. Now, the main function of sclerenchyma, it is to provide hardness and stiffness to the tree or the plant, right? And sclerenchyma ka nature of cell, it is made up of dead cells. That is why it is very very hard. Okay, and sclerenchyma cell wall, it is very thick. It is very very thick, and it is made up of a deposit called lignin. Since it is lignin, it is covering all the space, so there is no intracellular spaces. So intracellular spaces is absent in sclerenchyma. So this was all about simple permanent tissue. Now we will further move on to complex permanent tissue. Right. Complex permanent tissue, it is again further divided into two types, the xylem and the phloem. So xylem, it is again further divided into four components: tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. So the main work of tracheids and vessels is it is a tubular structure that acts like a pipe, and it transports all the water and minerals to all the parts of the plant. The main role of xylem is to transport water and minerals to all the parts of the plant from the roots. So, from the roots, it is transporting all the water to all the parts of the plant. So, it is only unidirectional. Unidirectional meaning only in one direction. So, the next thing is our xylem fiber. It provides support and it is made up of dead cells. And here xylem tracheid and vessels, they're both made up of dead cells. Okay, and xylem parenchyma is the only one which is made up of living cell. And it what is the role of xylem parenchyma? It is to store food. What kind of food? Starch. So now this was all about xylem parenchyma, and you have to remember the only living thing in xylem, it is the xylem parenchyma. Okay, now we will move on to phloem. Phloem. Phloem is again divided into four types: sieve tubes, companion cells, and phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. Right? So sieve tube. What is the role of sieve tube? It transports food, and the wall of the sieve tube, the cells, they are perforated and they have numerous pores, and those pores are called as sieve plates. Okay, those pores are called as sieve plates. Now, companion cells, they are the only one that have nucleus. Sieve cells, they do not have nucleus. Companion cells have the nucleus. Okay, and the role of companion cells, it is next to the sieve tube element. This is our companion cell. It is next to the sieve tube element, and it has nucleus inside it. Now, moving on to phloem parenchyma. The role of phloem parenchyma is to store food. Again, what kind of food? Starch. Now, moving on to sieve cells. What are sieve cells? These are single, they're elongated phloem cells, and they're found in gymnosperms. Okay. Now, non-flowering plants, meaning the plants that do not flower, they lack sieve plates and are companion cells. In phloem, the phloem parenchyma, sieve cells or sieve tubes, and companion cells, they all are living cells. Okay, they're all made up of living cells. The only dead cell is phloem fibers. And this was all about plant tissue, and I hope you liked it, and I hope you understand it. So please like the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching.